Welcome back, everyone, to video number 15 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So, from our previous video, we had another good finish. Remember, we're trying to get at least one driver in the top 10 to earn that bonus money and continue to grow the balance in our account so that we'll have plenty of money to further develop our car and build more HQ buildings, that kind of thing. So, things are going good so far. Our strategy is, the one-stop strategy is very difficult to do right now and make work simply because of the reliability of the parts in our car. So I'll be very, very happy when our reliability gets much better than it is now. So we've got a lot of work to do in that area. We'll continue to do that, but we got several other things going on as well. You can see here the game wants us to find a reserve driver. I really don't want to. The only exception to that would be, you can see here, we've got a couple of scouting ideas in progress, and I would like to find a pay driver. Now, if you're not familiar with what a pay driver is in the game, a pay driver is a driver that brings a sponsor with them. So basically, the sponsor pays you a certain amount of money just to have the driver on your roster, and then a certain amount of, additional bonuses if they race actually in the race event themselves, or versus if they don't race at all or don't practice at all, that kind of thing. So I would love to find one of those as my reserve driver if at all possible, but so far I've not seen any. So hopefully, our continued scouting efforts will produce one of those in the future, because that would be great for our bottom line. All right, let's start out. Looks like we've got a scouting report that's done. So let's head into our email here. Looks like we got usual stuff. And we've got an interview. Let's go ahead and do the interview and see what we've got. Of course, we already know Sergio is extremely low morale, but that's temporary. If you remember back, I believe it's 2 videos now, he heard a report from a newspaper that said we were thinking about getting rid of him. So that I think it was 30 points of morale. And so that should be about done. And then that will get him not exactly high on the morale scale, but should get him, at least somewhere in here. All right, let's see what we've got here. First question is about Sergio. It's a very testing weekend, which is hard to believe because he did the best of the 2 drivers. And let's see, not happy. Okay, so he'll bounce back. That's the usual response here. All right, so Rafael struggled and he'll bounce back. So nothing really. Okay, so I think the interview system could use some work because there's not a whole lot going on there. A couple of standardized responses that you can try to help or hurt morale of your team with overall. Let's see what we've got here. So Elias would not be one of the best drivers. Potential is good. He has a good aptitude for overtaking. Okay, so let's head over and see what that looks like. And okay, not bad. Not bad, about 2.5 stars, and it looks like he could get up to about 3.5 maximum, and he is 18. So good marketability at 73%. And looks like he's got, well, this is a temporary bonus, so there. But he's not a pay driver. A pay driver would show up down here as one of the driver traits. Okay, so not bad. Remember, we really have 2 reasons for what we're doing right now, scouting out drivers. And the first is just in case Sergio decides to leave because of his low morale and finishing positions. And the other is to try to see if we can find a pay driver for our reserve driver. Okay, so now this gives us an open slot. And we're going to, let's see, these are all the ones we've already scouted. Let's head down and, okay, we'll add another one to the list. So you can see we've got these going. I want to keep these filled out, all these slots filled out as much as possible. And let's see, on our car, we've got roughly 8 days there. And let's go ahead and hit continue. Okay, car repair is now been completed. Oh, we've got some sponsors. I was just wondering about sponsors. I knew it was about time. So we got 2 races, 1 race, and 5 races there. So we've got a while left on this one, but we're getting close to renewing these. Okay, so now we got 2 offers here. Let's come in and look for this to see. We've got an 8 race deal and a 14 race deal. Let's see, 1.6. Okay, this isn't much of a comparison. I guess if you were in bad need of some instant cash, then that would be the way to go. But it's hard to beat 500 up front, but 500K per race. That's hard to beat. So we are going to go ahead and accept this offer, the 500,000 up front. Okay, you can see this one is about to go away as well. What we want to do is, you can see now we're at 500K per race here. We're only at 300K here, and we want to increase that as much as possible. We're at 400K for this sponsor as far as fixed amounts. So continue increasing those. That definitely helps our budget. Okay, car repair is done. Let's see what we've got for this. Now, that doesn't make much sense to be working on reliability for parts like that. So let's see what we've got. We should also be almost done with our HQ. Okay, 1 week. So we're almost there. Let's see what we've got. All right, so for engines, 40% reliability, for brakes. All right, and that's what that's this brake package. So let's go ahead and, yeah, I know this is supposed to be done before, but that really doesn't help me out. Okay, so we need to work on this. And let's see. So we've got terrible here for this engine. So we need to work on those two for sure. Now our spec parts are at 80%. So really no reason to work on those at this time. Sure, I'd like to get them up to 100% later on, but that's, well down the road. While we're in here, there's another thing I want to point out. When we look at our car and the performance of our car, and of course we're at the bottom of the grid right now on that. But if you come in here and look, your spec parts, which I assume means basically middle of the road, it's not, they're not giving us top of the line part. It's basically a middle of the road part. And you can see the performance is at 150, and we're nowhere near 150 on any of our other parts. So that gives you just an idea. And that's kind of what I use as a measuring stick for when are we going to get sort of, out of last place as far as car performance. And I think it's going to start to happen once we can eclipse that 150 mark. Once we can get up above that, I think we'll be in better shape. So you can see even our first run parts that we've managed to create aren't all that good, and they need quite a bit of work. So we're going to at least need 2 generations through our car development. And I'm not sure we'll get through all of that this season, but we're going to do our best because I'm ready to run with these guys on speed. Okay, so we've got these 2 going on. What else do we need? We've only got 2 slots, but I just want to kind of look ahead. And here you can see both of these parts are terrible. And in fact, the gearbox is one of the things that we're working on now. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue once again. Okay, you can see we've got the upper tier series that are racing now. Looks like we're about to get another scouting report. Okay, and tier 1 series running their race. We don't care about that. We're a long way from moving up into that division. Okay, our HQ, 2 days away. All right, so we're almost there. Okay, so now we've got our gearbox is now finished, and we look like we got a scouting report. So let's take a look at our mail. Scouting report, low quality driver, potential is good. Okay, so not looking too good here. Driver details, okay, definitely not good. And wow, having an affair, so she's less focused. And marketability, not good. All right, so nothing really to look forward to there. All right, let's go ahead and let's move down. There we go. Next one in the list for now. Okay, let's come back in. Gearbox is now finished. Okay, let's go ahead and fit our part there. And now we're here under gearbox. So not a terribly huge improvement there on the first generation, but that's okay. You can see that while it only says 32 out of performance, it's out of a possible 66. So we got plenty of room for improvement in that potential product. And let's go ahead and we're going to give that to Sergio. That'll make him happy. The problem is we're going to have to repair it at least once during the race. So that's really no good for us. Okay. And if we go ahead and continue, and our factory is done. Excellent. All right. So this is a pretty big moment here. So now you can see we've got a much bigger factory going on. And notice what this does for us as far as how we rank with the overall teams. Now this puts us at 7th, and the reason it puts us at 7th, because you can see our car is still at the bottom, but now we're 5th based on this factory upgrade, which tells us that really nobody else is really in the European racing series that we're a part of. Really nobody has started upgrading buildings. So just by upgrading this one building, this puts us halfway up the grid. So not bad at all. Not bad. We'll keep that in mind, and that tells me that um, really what the other teams are focusing on from year to year. Okay, so that's good. Another thing it does is it opens up some new buildings. Okay, you can see here we got brakes we could work on for 8 million, a telemetry center, which would be good for gearbox development. That's nice to hear. 5.25 million. For 8 million, we could build a test track, which would help the cornering and overtaking skills for our drivers, and also engine parts. Okay, so we got driver smoothness and driver consistency here. Forecasting, I'm still not interested in. Scouting facility would be good, but I'm not terribly interested in that either. And our staff center, which was available before. Okay, so we're looking good there. I like that. I would like to have the test track, but boy, the telemetry center for that gearbox would be great, considering the amount of money that it would take in comparison. All right, now, the other thing this does is because we have a new factory upgrade, it opens up 2 more slots. You can see we now have a total of that. We'll go ahead and let these guys get started, but all of my focus is going to be on reliability. Okay, and so you can see already our reliability is increasing day by day. So we're up to 52 from about 40. They're not going to be entirely done. Okay, why are we working on something with 80%? Can't get these to stop showing up on the screen. All right, I'm not interested in that. But let's go ahead and see if there's anything else we want to fit in. All right, engine. Okay, yeah, now I see here we are with the engine here. I can see why they wanted to put it there. Okay, not bad at all. And that's, maybe I will leave that there. Let's see, we've got gearbox. Let's see, gearbox 32. That's this one. So I think we want to add that one in there just in case we need that going down the line. Okay, so far so good. We'll come back into design a new part. It is time for that. And let's see, our brakes still at the bottom, even though it's our best performing part. All right, so let's see, 6 days we can have this done. We got 15 days to our next Grand Prix, so we might be able to get another gearbox upgrade. Let's see what we can get here. That's going to cost us $1 million plus any additional items we add in here. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. Reliability is nice, but I'm not interested in that at the expense of performance. So let's see, where do we go from here? Acceleration. All right, I like this. It adds 2 days to the build time, but again, the reliability is going to be so horrible, I don't think that's really going to matter a whole lot. Yeah, and see, in fact, it's going to be after the race is over. Let's see, and I also like this. I'm trying to stay away from the risk level for now. And let's see. 25. Okay, that would give us 52 out of 101. I like that idea. I like that. What if I do? Yeah, that's lowering that red zone would be good because it gives us longer before the engine would possibly break. But at the same time, it really hinders our maximum. And this might be the last one of these we do for the season. As far as upgrades, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. It won't be ready before the next race, but that's perfectly fine because the reliability would hinder us anyway. Let's go ahead and build that. It's going to take quite a bit of money, but hey, that's what we're here to do, spend money and race. So with that out of the way, let's see what we've got next. Okay, looks like we got a vote coming up and another driver report. And okay, Coming up next. All right, we got our next scouting report. And let's see. Let's go in here first. Scouting report. Below average driver. Okay, let's see if there's anything to see here. Okay, not bad. Marketability. 2.5 stars out of about 3.5 potential. So not bad. Looks like he's had a couple of stints in the European Racing Series. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our next contestant on the list here. Get a young driver here, 23. Okay, and we're ready for our vote. So they're wanting to replace Guildford with Vancouver. Now, I'm not interested in that because if you remember, that is where our first win came, is at Guildford, I believe. So I'm going to vote against that since I abstained in the last vote, I'm going to have 2 here. Let's go ahead and skip to the end. And okay, it easily gets rejected. Excellent. That's what I like. So we keep Guildford on the agenda. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. It is almost time for us to have our next race. Let's go ahead and let the top 2 tiers go ahead and run their race. Continue through that. We don't need any of that. Okay, and it is time for us to race. You can see how close that is. The gearbox is done right after the race. Okay, let's hit continue here and choose. This is a pretty easy choice for us right now. So look at that. If we're able to get that, it'd be $1.1 million that we would earn. That's the value of increasing your marketability. And well, it really opens up some great sponsorships. So 1.1 million sure would be nice. Even without it, we're making 753 for the race. All right, so fit parts, we really don't have anything to do there. We've already done that. And it's time to race. We just finished up our practice session, and I'm fairly happy with the setup. So let's take a quick look at the 2 of them. I'm not going to be able to use the same setup between the 2 drivers this time. It's interesting because the arrow for each, they obtained the excellent label in different spots. And we'll see that just momentarily with Raphael's car, but 15.5, 25.5 here. So that's definitely a different setting than what we're going to see with Raphael. Everything the same here as default, 21 and -2. And then coming down here, you can see we've got excellent, good, and great. So we're at 95%. I would love to tweak some more on these, but I'm afraid I would possibly make it worse. I'm having a hard time with the handling here, trying to get them dialed in. I've been all around it and still can't get too good. So it's a very thin line in getting it increased, and 95% is a good number there. So I'm going to stick with that. All right, so we come in for a forecast. Looks like everything is good. Only used 1 set of tires during practice session today, so we saved a little bit of money. Hopefully, I'm not sure if that's actually modeled in or not. Your tire usage based on how many tires you actually use, or if it's just a flat cost for the weekend. But we only used 1 set here. I'm trying to get better. And let's see. All right, it's showing we got 6 laps of fuel. We need to go 13 laps. So I think we got a reasonable chance on making this on 1 stop. What'll be interesting to see is how much time we lose in the pits repairing our cars. Okay, let's come into Raphael. You can see he's a full ½ degree on front and rear to get to his 97% rating there. So a little bit different aero setup this time. Also a little difference here on the tire pressure and camber. These are more, I look at these as more fine tuning tweaks. Your suspension and gear ratios are more of your big changes in balance and handling. So I'm hoping that these setups are good enough to get us where we need to be. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get this race going. All right, let's see, engine mode, keep that on low. It pains me to have to do this because I really want to run with these guys on speed. We're just not quite there yet. All right, we'll go ahead and fast forward through the grid there. All right, so it looks like we're going to be starting 5th and 15th. So Again, the higher your position in the points, the lower you are on the starting grid as they invert the grid. So that's why you see our drivers so far apart. All right, so we're at 5th and 18th. I basically expected that Rodriguez when he gets back in the pack. It's hard to imagine a situation where he doesn't fall back because, again, our car is just not up to par on performance. But we need to keep as many positions as we can. Keep in mind that along lap 4 and 5 is when the AI will start pitting for tires. So in order to make our strategy work, we'll need to really make up some time there, while at the same time not using our fuel up. Okay, so we're falling back through the field. We're now 10th and last on the grid. Definitely not what we're looking for. And this is where you can really see, particularly on this track, you can see there is a lot of room for top end speed here, as well as acceleration coming through these chicanes. All right, so we got a safety car out. So then the question becomes, what do we do now? Well, by default, I might not pit generally, but in this case, it really doesn't help me out. I don't think a whole lot to pit. But the reason I'm going to go ahead and pit here is because I want to see if there is anything I can do with our conditions. Yes. So if I can get these fixed under caution, I think that really helps us out. So we're going to go ahead and cue one to come in under the first lap of pit stops, and hopefully we can have the other one come in on the second lap so that we don't stack them up in pit road. All right, so we're going to go ahead and actually I'm not too terribly worried about the tires. We'll come back to that. All right, let's go ahead and fill back up on fuel, because maybe we can take less the next time in and save a little bit of time there. Let's go ahead and fix these two parts. Again, it's going to cost us some time, but I think we're going to have to end up fixing them anyway throughout the course of the race. So we're going to go ahead and take our medicine now. And tires. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on the new tires. I really don't want to, but I think we're going to need to do that. Take a quick look at the weather. Looks like we're good there. Okay, and let's go ahead and have him come in. Now, Rodriguez, let's take a look at the condition of his car. Let's see. Wow. Gearbox is looking pretty ragged there. Everything else looks pretty good. Okay, this would jump him up on the grid to 4th. And again, this would drop Sergio back on the grid, but that's okay because we're getting some repairs done, much needed repairs. Okay, safety car's got 1 lap left. We're going to go ahead and bring in our second car now. Go ahead and change those tires. Really no reason not to at this point. All right, part condition. Let's go ahead and fix that. And hopefully that'll be the last time we have to deal with that in this race. Yeah, it's going to take some time away, and I hate to do that, but we're going to have to do it anyway. All right, so we're going to be at the back of the pack. And because of this strategy change, we are going to go ahead and have plenty of fuel that we can burn. Okay, you can see here, we should have about 5 laps of fuel remaining. And that's plenty enough to get us there. So we're going to go ahead and, let's see, I got to hold off on that because I think he will even burn more fuel. If I change it now, he burns more fuel even under caution, which I don't want. Okay, so this brings Rodriguez into the pits, make that quick repair, get him full of fuel. Okay, safety car is heading to the garage. Let's go ahead and up this to high and high. And we'll see about tire temperature. If the tire temperature is low, then we'll go ahead and change this up to push. Okay, so now we're 18th and 19th. But we're basically on par with everybody. Now, what I don't like is, you can see the tires are wearing out even under caution. That seems a little bit excessive. I can understand maybe 1% or 2% at the most, but not quite this much. All right, here we go. Getting ready for the safety car to come in. You can see here we've got the crashed car is still out on the track. Hopefully that will change as we get ready for the green flag. As we approach our final corner, the safety car here leading the field should go ahead and speed up, get out of the way, and get into pit road. And there they go. Safety car gets ahead. And now, here we go. Let's go ahead and spin our camera around. All right, so we're off and running. You can see here we're going to have 4.65 laps of fuel. We're going to have plenty of fuel. And the reason why that's a great thing is because hopefully we will have the ability to, oh, looks like Rodriguez is moving up quick, passing some cars. That's what I like to see. Well, hopefully we'll have the ability to have a much quicker pit stop at the end of the race and continue to keep pushing and make up all the spots we can. Remember, we need to finish 10th or better. All right, Rodriguez is moving up through the field. I like this a lot. All right, so lap 7, and he continues to push. We're up now 14th and 16th. This is good. This also gives us a glimpse into what would happen if we actually ran a strategy that was much more similar to the rest of the grid. And while we don't have the speed to move up entirely through the field, you can see here we're losing a spot. It does let us know that, all right, you can see here the tires just not going good. I'm going to have both of them actually push. Let's see if we can get some more heat in the tires. We've only got another lap or so. Yeah, here we go. In fact, we're going to go ahead and have him come in first, put on the new tires. And there we go for fuel. I tell you what, I'm going to put a little bit extra in on fuel. I know that slows us down, but I want to make sure that we've got enough. It's only 19 seconds, park condition. Looks like we're good to go. Not wonderful, but I feel like we're pretty good. All right, so Sergio will come in this next time by. And then we're going to actually have Rafael come in the following time. Okay, there comes Sergio. He's coming in to pit with everybody else. You can see 5th place for Rodriguez here. We'll have him come in the next time by, put on the super softs. And let's see, he needs 3 laps of fuel. We're going to go ahead and put in a little extra so we can continue to push. And let's see, actually, what changes? Okay, you can see here the positions don't really change there if I do that. Park condition, looks like it's going to make it. Okay, that's not going to help us out either. Okay, so we're in 5th right now with Rodriguez, and just not looking good for us for a 10th place finish here. We're going to give it everything we've got, though, and try to make as much time as we can here. And now he will come into the pits. So we've got Sergio is in 17th, and they're going to file by now. Are we going to be able to make up any spots at all? No, doesn't look like it. We're losing a lot of spots. So Rodriguez comes out, as I figured, a little bit ahead of Sergio. We're in 11th and 15th, and I need these guys to really go now. Really push. 11th and 14th. And you can see the cars gaining on us down the straightaway. That is just pure engine. All right, looks like we got a car here in 12th. That is, yep, he's having mechanical troubles. All right, we're coming in on, we're at least, well, I thought we were going to be able to gain on the car in 10th. Wasn't to be. We're running 11th and 13th, which is not bad at all considering that safety car came out and really put a damper in our strategy. All right, but we're coming in on 10th. Looks like 10th and 12th are both having mechanical issues. We're hoping that we're able to get past them before the end of the race. And didn't quite happen. So we come home 11th and 14th. We did not get our sponsor objective of 10th. So the speed really got us. Unfortunately, I wish there was a way around it, but I really didn't see a way that we could make it work. But Not the end of the world. I still think that that was a good race for us. You can see here we had 2 pit stops, and you can see they're even outrunning us on the medium tires. So that is just pure car. And scrutineering, again, we can fast forward through that. Okay, so overall, we are now 8th and 13th as far as our position in the driver championship. That's going to affect where we are on the grid, of course. And we still remain in 6th place with a 4-point cushion over 7th, and we're falling behind the top 5 teams there. So that's definitely not what I want to see. Let's fast forward through that. All right, we'll go ahead and get through this last couple of screens here. All right, so morale is headed back for Sergio, is up 17%. We are at 80% morale here for Rafael. And we've got a new unlock, soft tires wear more slowly. That is going to be huge for us. We use the soft tires almost exclusively. So that is a huge unlock there. We came in 7th, so that hurts the happiness a little bit. Although it seems like 90% is about the most you can get. Marketability basically unchanged there. Let's go ahead and get to the money. Not quite as much as we wanted to make, but 753,000 still not bad, and that will keep us with the ability to continue making parts and upgrading our parts. Thank you very much for joining me on video number 15 in our Let's Play series, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.